morning. This is the Fucking Yoga Company. My name is Julia. I'm running around like crazy today. This is Viniyoga. Viniyoga is a very traditional form of yoga. And we are going to work today. So Viniyoga has a focus on the breath, moving the spine, moving the musculature of the core with the balance of the breath. So I will be cueing heavily on the breath today. So just don't sweat it, but that's really where the focus is going to be. We are going to move in repetition and some stays, but it's slow. So we want to really concentrate on connecting the movement, the speed of the movement of the body to the balance of the breath. So that will be very important. You might hear me wheezing a little bit. Breathing's not my thing lately. And I guess it's just a very different type of yoga if you've never done it before. So hang in with me. I'm glad you're here. And we are going to start actually on our backs today. So we're going to lay on our backs and with feet on the floor, knees to the ceiling. And just in a comfortable position, whatever's comfortable for you. If you want to rest on a blanket, blanket hips to ribs, that would be great. It's really up to you how you're going to be comfortable on the mat. We're going to be here for a while. Well, for an hour at least. All right. So, oh God, I just realized I have my hat on. Okay. It's all good. All good. So take a little rock side to side, get heavy between the hips, roll the shoulders forward, and then relax flat on the mat. And we are going to just find the path of the breath. So let's pull our attention and awareness from the external back to the down to the internal. And we're going to, let's just check in with the state and quality of the body. Where in this position are you feeling already some tension, tightness, or response? And we're just going to move through that attention, and let's bring that attention into the state and quality of our thinking and check in with the state and quality of your brain. What's going on? I am feeling a little flummoxed, so I'm going to slide that stuff off to the side. We want to create a nice, clear, open field of thought for our practice. Once you've created that silence, let's move that into the awareness of the breath. I got to take this stupid hat off. And let's just pay attention to the state and quality of the physical, or of the breath. Now, in Viniyoga, it's very traditional to breathe into and out of the nose. If you're having allergy issues, I realize that's troublesome. I think it would be better if you could breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, if that's doable for you. We are going to be just concentrating on the rhythm of breath from the shoulders to the hips. So let's just notice where we move in our body when we're just breathing regularly. All right, we're going to start increasing the length of breath. And when we're working with Viniyoga and working with these repetitions in asana, we want to start by drawing the breath through the chest and filling the belly. And we want to just draw the breath as deeply down into the bottoms of the lungs. So let's breathe into the belly. I want you to really draw the breath like through a neck of a balloon, down through the chest, through the space underneath the diaphragm and into the base of the rib or the lungs. And then we let the lungs fill up under the ribs. And then we're going to expand the breath into the upper tissues of the lungs, lifting through the chest and feeling the muscles underneath the collarbones. To exhale, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to draw down through the belly. We're going to draw down through the ribs, and then we're going to release the breath out of the chest. So it feels like an ocean swell, right? We're going to inhale through the belly, inhale and expand the ribs, inhale, expand the chest, and then we're going to exhale, let the belly drop, release the air out of the ribs, and then release the air out of the chest. So that's the rhythm of breath. I want you to really think about moving the breath through the body that way. And we're going to start increasing the length of breath and balancing that rhythm between inhale and exhale. So let's work through that a little bit. So let's exhale all the air out of the lungs. And if you want to spread your fingers wide, pinky to thumb, on your torso, that'll help you think about where this breath goes. So big inhale, we just draw it down and up, expanding the bottom of the lung first, pulling through the ribs, reaching that breath all the way up into the tops of the lungs. And now we're going to release through the belly, belly button, and the ribs and chest. Let's do that. Let's take 4 of those breaths. So move into that balance. One more of those. All right, relax the energy out of that breath. Just go back to your intuitive breath. Take a little rock side to side with the hips. So when we're working through these repetitions, you might have noticed when you get into that rhythm of breath, there's a point at the bottom of retention where you're holding your breath for a beat as you shift into the exhale. And then there's a point at the top of that exhale or at the bottom of that exhale where you are suspending breath for a beat so that you can shift into that inhale. That's part of the breath. So that's considered part of a 4-part breath. It's a version. And when we're talking about that in terms of the movement of our body, I want you to begin the breath. So you start taking the inhale or start the exhale before we start the movement. So we want to connect the lead of those breaths to initiate the movement. Typically, we're going to exhale when we compress and inhale when we extend. But I want that brief pause where we're suspended in between movement and stillness to connect to those pauses in the breath. Got it? Mud, right? Okay. We're going to just start with our arms. Take a little rock side to side. We're going to exhale all the air out of the lungs. And let's start with our ocean breath. So let's start that swelling breath. Remember, pulling the breath through the lungs into the space of the belly, into the space behind the ribs, and then filling up to the chest, and then exhaling from the bottom of the lungs through the space under the ribs and back out of the chest. So now let's start our inhale. Let's take the right arm and just sweep it up as we lengthen that sweep. Hold for that suspension or that retention, and then as you exhale, start the exhale first and move that arm down. So we're connecting the speed of our movement to the length of the breath. Continue to move. Be mindful of the energy in your shoulders. Maybe widen up that space between elbow and ear. Let's take 2 more in both directions. All right, 1 more in to both sides. And release. Okay, so we're going to relax our breath for 2 or 3 breaths here, and notice now the response and energy in the shoulders. Notice the response and energy from the movement of the breath. Just really get into the body and pay attention to the response to the breathing and that easy movement. All right, we're going to start moving with the legs next. So we're going to keep the left foot on the mat, and what we're going to do is work asymmetrically. So we're going to work one side at a time. So float that right knee right above your hip. And we're going to start and find that ocean swelling breath. So let's inhale through. I want you to completely relax your foot. And start that next inhale. As you continue through that breath, just float that leg up to the ceiling. So imagine that someone has tied a helium balloon to your toe, and it's floating that leg up. And then we're going to exhale, start the exhale, and then release that knee and that extension, drop the heel toward the glute. Start the inhale, float the leg up, and exhale, release the heel slowly, bend the knee and draw back. We're going to take 3 more of those. Two more. One more. We're going to release the foot to the mat. Relax out of that breath. And now I want you to notice the energy going on in the right hip. So I'm feeling energy up into the glute med, a little bit into my piriformis. I'm feeling my QLs and a little bit in my quad. So I want you to just notice that energy. Give your body a chance to respond and give you some feedback. And now we're going to float the left knee up. We're going to take that same movement, 5 repetitions of this leg extension. So let's exhale all the air out of the lungs and start our ocean swelling breath. All right, with the beginning of our next inhale, let's start that inhale and float that toe. Relax the foot. We're just using the energy of the core, the glute, the hamstring to move that leg without effort. Remember to start your inhale and exhale before you start the movement of the leg. We have 2 more. And release down. We're going to let that foot take the mat. And I want you to just relax out of that breath and notice how you're feeling in the left side of the body. How are you feeling energy in the hip, the glutes, maybe the quad? I'm feeling it right up here through my obliques and transverse abdominis. All right, we're going to continue and we're going to go back to the right side with that toe float. This time we are going to slide the arm out like a snow angel along with the extension of the leg. So we're going to connect the breath to the movement of the leg and the arm, and we're going to connect the movement of the leg and the arm together. So at the top of that inhale, your arm should be extended. I'm going to keep mine far away from my ear, but at the same time, my leg will be floated, so that energy will go from the base of my shoulder blade all the way down to my hip. And then I will slowly connect that arm sweep to the return on the exhale. And then we will do the same on the other side. So we will continue to work asymmetrically, but we are going to be working through this extension. So let's take a little rock side to side. I'm already feeling that energy through the glutes. Take a big inhale, exhale all the air out of the lungs. Let's take a few of those ocean swelling breaths to start. All right, I'm going to float my right knee above the hip. I'm exhaling that breath. I'm going to start my inhale, and now I'm going to connect that sweep of the arm to that slow extension of the leg. And now I'm going to connect that exhale to the return. Start the inhale first, then the movement, and start the exhale first, and then the return. Let's take 2 more of those. And we're going to return. Let's relax out of that breath and let that foot take the mat. Now I want you to just take some resting breaths. And now notice where the energy is responding to you. Where are you feeling? I'm feeling that a little bit further up into the ribs. I'm feeling that movement in my shoulder. Definitely feeling that in the glutes and the glute medius. All right, let's exhale all the air out of the lungs. And let's take 2 of those ocean breaths to get us started. All right, I'm going to float my left knee, start my inhale, and now I'm going to continue that extension with the connection to the breath. And start the exhale, and then continue that return with the exhalation. Let's relax out of that breath and rest the foot to the mat. Take a little sway side to side, and now pay attention to where you're feeling the energy on the other side of the body. Just taking that notice and feeling the response through the shoulders, through the ribs, and the low back. All right, we're going to bring a right knee up and cup our fingers over the top of that knee. We're going to work a little asymmetrical apanasana. So we did some extension here, and now we're going to do some technically what's called a forward fold, but we're not, going to be getting up. So let's just relax the weight of the leg into the arm. Let's start with our inhale. All right, let's begin our exhale, and as we exhale, let's draw that knee in to the body with the arm. Inhaling, unwind it. So this one's going to be very slow because the movement is small and the breath is long. So slow that movement down. We're going to take 2 more repetitions. All right, we're going to bring both hands over the top of that knee, draw the knee toward the body, press the left foot into the mat, and we're going to take 4 breaths here in a stay. So I know we're compressed, but try to make that breath as deep as you can. Giving me that gentle pressure on the foot on the mat. Two more full inhales and exhales. All right, we're going to release the energy of the breath. Slowly let that foot come down to the mat. Let's take a resting breath or 2 here. And now notice where you're feeling response in the leg. I'm feeling some energy all the way down to the knee, all the way up into the waist. I'm feeling hip flexors. All right, let's bring the left knee up into the fingertips of the left arm. We're just going to hang the weight of that leg in the hands. Let's take a nice big inhale to prepare. And now as we exhale, let's draw that knee in. And as you inhale, extend that knee out. Okay, we're going to take 4 more of those. Two more repetitions. All right, we're going to bring both hands over the top of that knee. Draw that knee toward the body. Give me a little press into the right foot. And let's take our 4 deep ocean swelling breaths here. Two more breaths. And now let's release that foot to the mat. We're just going to take a few deep inhales and exhales. Just relax here. And now notice what the energy on the left side of the body is doing. Where are you feeling response? All right, we're going to add a little asymmetrical extension here. So we're going to work with a slide, a foot slide, and an arm sweep. So the foot slide is going to be just a tiny little length of the leg. I'm just going to float my foot down to the length of the mat so that my leg is extended on the floor. And then I'm going to slowly, lightly draw that foot up and bring it right back to resting on the mat. We're going to add that arm sweep to this. Now, I like a trace through the air on this one, but if that's not going to work for the energy of your shoulder, that side snow angel sweep is perfectly fine. We're going to work the right side, and then we're going to stay, and we'll work the left side and take the stay. All right. So let's exhale the air out of the lungs. Let's actually take a couple of ocean swelling breaths here to get into our rhythm. All right, I'm going to start my inhale. And as I get into that breath, I'm going to extend the leg. I'm going to slowly sweep the arm. Oh, I just did a snow angel sweep. That's, I guess, what my body wants. And now exhale, slowly begin the return. Start the inhale. 2 more just like that. All right, we're going to take our inhale and take that extension. And now we're going to exhale, but hold this length of body. Now we're going to take a 4-breath stay. As you inhale, pull the fingers a little further away from the shoulder, lengthen the leg a little further away from the hip. As you exhale, just relax that extension a tad. We're just going to keep the leg and arm in place. As we inhale, slowly pull that length a little bit further. And as you exhale, let the energy go out of that extension. 2 more just like that. All right, let's take an inhale. And as we exhale, let's make that full return. So bring the hand back, bring the foot back, nice and relaxed and slow. All right, let's rest the breath. We're going to take a few breaths here. And now I want you to notice the energy return of the body. Where's that response? All right, let's exhale all the air out of the lungs to prepare. We're going to move the left side now. Let's start that inhale. Now add that slow sweep of leg and arm, reach it out and away. As you start the exhale, and then add the return. Remember to start the inhale before we move the body and start the exhale before we move the body. Repetition. All right, let's start the inhale and move into the extension. All right, we're holding the extension. And now as we inhale, start the inhale and then extend the leg, extend the arm, reach them away from the center of the body. Exhale, relax the energy out of that extension, but keep the leg and arm where they are at. Again, with that inhale, extend, extend. As you exhale, relax that extension. We're going to take 2 more exactly like that. All right, let's take our inhale and begin the exhale, and then add that return of the leg and the arm to the beginning position. All right, let's relax that breath. Just take some resting breath. And now I want you to notice the energy response from the left side. All right, we're gonna move our heels toward the glutes. We're gonna move into an active bridge. We're gonna do 3 rounds with different arm placement. So we're going to first do an active bridge with our arms at our sides. Then we're going to do an active bridge where we actually trace our arms with the lift of the back to extended. And then as we return the body, we'll drop the arms back to the hips. And once again, you can take the snow angel sweep, or you can trace through the air. The third round is going to be the extension stay. So we're gonna add the arms. We'll hold here as we return with the back to the mat with the exhale. We're gonna inhale and extend up through the shoulders and the ribs. And then we will exhale and return the hands back to the original position. So that last round is kind of a 4-part movement. So we'll just do the first round of active bridge. And remember, we're going to go very, very slow. And let's release the hands down to the mats. Mine are going to be very wide because I want my shoulder blades, roll them in and get them flat on the mat. Tuck the chin and keep your gaze to the ceiling. We don't want to turn our head in this position because we'll be pressing into the shoulder blades. And anyway, all right. Let's take a few rounds of our ocean breaths. So let's do 2 full ocean swelling breaths before we start. All right, I'm going to begin my next inhale, and I'm going to start pressing into the feet. I'm lifting tailbone, hips, low ribs, mid back, upper back. Press your body into the shoulder blades. Press the triceps into the mat. And now start your exhale first. And then we're going to return, lowering the upper body, moving through the mid back, dropping through the waist. Keep the hips and tailbone off the mat until the very last bit of exhale. All right, we're going to take 4 more exactly like that. Inhale, start the inhale. Lift tailbone, hips, waistband, mid back, upper back. Press into the shoulder blades, press the biceps into the floor. Now start your exhale and then begin that roll down. We're going to take 3 more exactly like that. You're working with your length and balance of breath, but make sure that we're working with slow movements and you're filling the lungs as full as you can. Inhale. Two more. One more. Relax completely out of that breath. And now just travel the length of the hips to the shoulders and feel that response, maybe even through the quads. Just notice the energy in the body. All right, we're gonna add the arm sweep to this round. We're gonna take 4. So I'm gonna make sure I've got security in my feet. So let's make sure you're firmly planted on the mat. We're gonna exhale the air out of the lungs. Let's start that ocean swelling breath. And now start that lift, tracing the fingers to reach over the head in whatever way you want to. You can do the snow angel sweep or the trace through the air. We're gonna lower the fingers at the same time as we are lowering the spine. And let's take 3 more just like that. So start your inhale, press into the mat, lift hips, take the arms up with you. Start the exhale. And now as we lower the torso, let's return the hands to the hips. Two more just like that. One more. All right, completely relax the body, relax the breath, and take a notice of the energy response. All right, we're gonna take the last round and we're gonna add that extra extension. So let's exhale all the air out of the lungs. Let's start our ocean swelling breath, tracing up through the hips, track up with the arms. All right, as we begin our exhale, keep the arms extended and slowly return the spine to the mat. Now we're going to start an inhale and then lengthen those arms up, reach those shoulders up, reach long between the space of the ribs. And now as you exhale, start the exhale first. And we're going to slowly bring those arms back to the beginning position. That's it. We're going to take 3 more of those. So start your inhale. And then begin the lift and the trace. Maintain that the extension of the arms as we slowly return the torso to the mat. And now inhale, reach up. Exhale, start that exhale, and then return those fingers down to the beginning position. All right, 2 more, exactly like that. One more. All right, relax the energy out of the breath. Let's slide the heels a little bit further away from the hips. Take those easy, intuitive inhales and exhales, and now notice the energy and the response in the body. Think about the shoulders. Think about the ribs, the hips, the energy in the knees. All right, we're going to work ourselves through 4 rounds of symmetrical Apanasana, and then we're going to go right into our final relaxation. So we'll bring the fingers and cup them up over the knees. Let the legs hang in the length of the arm. Let's start by exhaling all the air out of the lungs. Give those toes a little wiggle. We're going to inhale. Now begin the exhale and then begin to draw those knees toward the body. Give me a little teeny weeny reverse lift of the hips. Inhale, slowly return, flattening the spine, lengthening the arms. Start your exhale first, and now begin to draw the knees toward the body, giving me that little teeny weeny reverse lift up. And inhaling. We're going to do 2 more of those. All right, we're going to slowly return the feet to the mat, knees to the ceiling, and release. Now, I want you to think about the energy of the body. Do you want to extend the legs for Shavasana, or do you want to keep them on the mat with your knees tented in? Relax the breath. Soft, easy inhale, soft, silent exhale. And we're going to move our attention into the space of the forehead. Feel all those tiny little muscles and nerve endings. And now relax the energy out, feeling the forehead smooth. Feel the temples melt toward the mat. Feel soft around the eyes and through the cheeks. Unclench the teeth. Relax the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Let's continue down through the strap muscles and feel those muscles release their energy. Release the shoulder blades toward the floor. Continue that relaxation. Feel loose through the biceps and triceps and down through the space of the elbow. Relax through the forearms, a little wiggle with the fingers. And now let the upper body just go soft against the mat. So let's imagine and pull our attention into that space under the collarbone through the pectorals and a little outward into the shoulders, down through the ribs, and relax the energy of the front of the body. Pull that attention down through the space between the shoulder blades, the length of spine from the base of the neck down through the ribs, And now let's relax completely from the center of the belly button around through the hips and feel the torso rest against the mat. Relax the quads, let the energy drain out through the back of the hamstrings. We're just picturing all of this, slide through the back of the knees, maybe a little flexion of the foot, a little rock and roll with the calf, and now let the lower body rest completely against the floor. Pull that attention and awareness into the space and quality of your thinking. And some things might be itching at our attention or scratching at our attention. Let's release that space. I like to picture the back of my eyelids. If anything starts to draw your attention, just let it float across your consciousness like a cloud on the breeze. Give it a notice and then let it pass. And finally, let's anchor our attention and awareness into the space of that breath. And let's just follow the breath into and out of the lungs. Let's start to draw some deeper breaths into the lungs. So start increasing that breath slowly. Give me a little wiggle of the fingers and a roll of the wrists. Give me a little wiggle of the toes and a roll of the ankles. I'm going to slowly place my feet on the mat first. And I want you to take a breath or two right here. Nice deep inhales, nice deep exhales. Now I'm going to bring my hand and knee up together, giving that knee a squeeze. Bring the other knee up and give it a squeeze. And I'm just going to hold right here for a breath or two. Draw those knees toward your body gently. And now let's take that slow rock side to side. All right, when you're ready, let's just rock over to one side. We're going to rest our head on our arm. All right, I'm gonna lengthen my top leg and I'm gonna walk my hands toward my hips to bring myself off the floor. Nice and easy. Coming into it, seated position, however that looks for you. I'm gonna take this pleasant position with my feet stacked in front of each other. Take a few shoulder rolls back. Just take a little sway of the head to one side. And slowly through the other. And now let's just settle into the seat. Shoulders will stack over ribs, ribs over hips. And let's take a scan of the body, checking in. State and quality of the physical form. Let's move that attention and awareness into the state and quality of our thinking and check in. If you have some things that need some priority attention, you can go ahead and move those into your to-do list. But let's keep a little bit of elbow room. We've really cleared out our brain. We've added a lot of oxygen to the system. And finally, just notice that breath, that soft, intuitive inhale, soft, intuitive exhale. Let's blink our eyes open and release practice. I am going to take a very slow, easy stretch toward the ceiling. I'm just gonna reach on up, might even turn into a yawn, I don't know. Letting all of that go. Let's take a moment to honor our body for doing what we asked it to do today and all the hard work it does to keep us going from the beginning of the week to the end of the week. Thank you so much for joining me for this Viniyoga therapeutic session. This is the Fucking Yoga Company. I am Julia. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at yoga@jclynne.com. Thank you so much for supporting my online gig, keeping you safe, keeping me safe, keeping our groove on. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty darn groovy right now. I'm so happy to be able to add this therapeutic session into my schedule. And I'm so happy that you guys are joining me for it. Guys, get up slowly, drink a lot of water. So a lot of that deep breathing can dehydrate you. And you might be feeling some response, throughout the day. But I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm excited to add this to our schedule. All right, guys, I hope your day treats you as well or better than Viniyoga just did.